Okay, hello guys. Good day to you. Um, this is Abdullah Sani. So in this video, I'll be demonstrating to you how to use for loop in C++. Okay, so we're just going to write a very simple program, to demonstrate how for loop works. All right, so without wasting time, let's get started. To get started, we need to create a folder. So I'll be creating a folder on my desktop. I'm going to name this folder programs. Okay, so this is the folder that will be saving the projects that we'll be working on. Okay, so the ID we'll be using, of course, is code blocks. So I'll just hit Windows Q on my keyboard and I'll call the code blocks. I'll type code blocks and press enter. All right, you can see the code blocks is loading. Of course, code blocks is the ID that we'll be working on. All right, so this is the interface of code blocks. So to create a project, of course, we'll click on create a new project. Then of course we'll double click on console application and we'll click on next. Then this is where we'll select our language. And of course we're using C++, so I'll leave it on that. I'll click next. So here I need to give my project a title. So I'll be working on for loop. So I'll just type in for loop. Now here we need to select the folder that we just created on the desktop. So I just click on the three dots here. Then we'll select the folder, which is programs. So then I'll click on OK. Then next I'll click on next. We'll finally click on finish. Okay. So yeah, so this is how it works. So this is by the left hand side, you're going to see the project that you just created. So I'll click on the plus sign that we have close to sources. Then I'll double click on the main. And you can see that the font size is too small. I want it to be visible to you, so I need to increase the font size. Now to do that, I'll go to heading settings, then I'll click on editor. From editor, I'll click on choose. Then I'll under size, I'm going to increase the size to something like 28. Then I'll click on OK. I'll click on OK again. Then I believe you'll be able to see the source code. All right, so this is how the interface of code blocks looks like. So I'm going to clear this. All right, so time to start coding. Now I'm going to write a comment here, a program, type in a program to demonstrate how for loop works. Okay, so this is just a comment. It's not going to do anything, even if I execute this code. It's not going to do anything. It's just for the programmer that will be working on this code to know what this is all about. All right, so what I need to do is we're actually going to write a program that is going to print, let's say, a statement like a number of time, a some certain number of time. So let's say we want to print out a statement like welcome to programming, like 10 times for example, or 20 times for example. If the task is for you to you know write welcome to programming like 5 times, okay, the task is going to be very simple. You can easily do that maybe with a pen and paper. But when the number of times is much, like let's say you want to write it up to like from line 1 to line 1000, for example, of course, it's going to be tedious. So you need to use the power of loop in order to achieve that. Now, in order to do that, we are going to use the syntax of for loop. So I'm going to put in the syntax of for loop. So the syntax is very simple. So it's like this. So we're going to have for, and we have open brackets and closing brackets, and we'll open curly brace. So as simple as this, this is how the syntax of for loop looks like. Okay. So in the open brackets, this is where you declare your variable, you assign a value to that variable, then you place a condition on that variable, and you're still going to add increment all in this bracket. Everything happens here. So in order to demo this, let me quickly declare a variable called x. I'm going to be using an integer, so I'll call int x. Int x, I'll separate that with semicolon. Sorry, int x, let's declare an assign. Int x is equal to 0. This is declaration and assignment. So I assign 0 to x in a data type int. Alright, so int x equal to 0. So that is the declaration and assignment. So we need to still place the condition. So the condition is going to be like x less than 10, for example. I have my semicolon. Then I'm going to run the increment now to x plus plus. X plus plus is like add 1 to x, okay? X plus plus, that is what it means. Add 1 to x. So plus plus means plus 1. All right, so this is declaration and assignment. This is the condition, and this is the increment. All right, so we've just taken care of whatever thing that is supposed to be in this bracket. So next is in between the opening curly brace and the closing curly brace, we're going to have our statement. What do we want to print out? So in this case, we want to print a statement like cout. We're going to have a statement. Okay, we're going to have a statement like um let's have something like welcome to programming. Okay, let's see, we have welcome to C++ programming. All right, so let's assume this is what we want to print out. So you can see as simple as this. So if I run this code now, let me click on run for you to see what we have. So if I click on run, let's see. You can see this is our output. We have welcome to programming, how many number of times? So based on the condition that we placed here, we said if int x is equal to 0, so in the first run, the system will test, is this 0 less than 10? If the condition is true, it's going to print out this statement, which is welcome to programming, C++ programming. Then it will now increment the value of that x. So it means after printing this, the system will do x plus plus, which is x plus 1, which is going to be 0 plus that 1. So x will change from 0 to 1. And the condition will test again. It will go through the condition again. It will ask, is 1 less than 10? Of course, the condition is met. It's going to print out the statement again the second time. Then it will now increment, after printing, it will now increment the x again. In this case, the x is going to be 2. So it will test, is 2 less than 10? If, of course, it's going to be true, right? So it's going to print out welcome to C++ programming one more time. Then it will now increment it again by 1. So x will become 3. It will keep on testing this until it gets to, let's say, 9. Then when it is 9, of course, 9 is less than 10. So it will still print out one more time. Okay? 9 is less than 10. It will print out one more time. Then it will now increment the x again with 1. So from 9, the x will become 10. Then it will now ask, is 10 less than 10? And of course, the condition will be false. It will not print out the next it will not print out the welcome to C++ programming because that condition is not met. So it will now, once the condition is not met, the program will not print out the statement. It will just end there. All right, so that is how it works. So let's say for example we change this to, let's say, 10. What happens if the condition is not met? We said int x is equal to what? 10, and x less than 10, x plus plus. It means if 10 is less than 10, we should print out this statement and increment the x by 1. So let's print out this to see what we have. So in this case, you can see that we don't have any output. There is no result. Why? Because that condition is not met. X cannot be, sorry, 10 cannot be less than 10. Okay, the value of x here is what? 10. And we said x less than 10, which is incorrect. Um, it's not correct. So what it means is what? This condition is not met, so it's not going to execute, it's not going to print out any statement for us. But if we have something like 2, of course 2 is less than 10. So if I run this again, of course we can see we have results because that condition was met. So I believe we're able to, get value, in this video. If the answer is yes, please give it a thumbs up and, subscribe to our channel. See you in the other side of the training. Bye for now.